So huge battle in this video with new releases in the driver category from two huge brands. Callaway Elyte against the TaylorMade Qi35. Which one comes out on top? Okay, so welcome back to the channel, and we're going to take a look at two brand new drivers for 2025 from two huge brands when it comes to the driver category. Callaway make fantastic drivers. We've got the Elyte full review video already done. You can go and check that one out. And new TaylorMade Qi35. Again, full review with all the tech information is on my channel already if you go and check it out. This is going to be a comparison head to head. I've got the same shaft, same length, same grip. Both 9-degree heads and the weighting very, very similar. So this is going to be a pretty even test between these two drivers. I'm going to see which one comes out on top. I'm going to hit a few shots with each driver, but only three, switch them over, so we're not going to get too much of a consistent run with each one, so we're going to mix it up a little bit more. I'm going to start off with the Callaway, so the Elyte. This is a standard Elyte. There is different versions. So we've got triple diamond, which is obviously a low spin. We've got the Max, which is more of your sort of neutral, so sort of draw biased. This is a standard one, which will suit most golfers. We've got adjustability on the back and move it into fade and draw. It's a 13-gram weight and a fixed 2-gram screw at the front. So I'm going to have that in the neutral position, 9 degree, set at 9 degree. And as I mentioned in my review video, you know, I was a big fan of how this looks from the playing position. The bottom of the club didn't really blow me away. I didn't think that looked as premium, but in that playing position, it looks really good. So sits incredibly square. We've got that matte finish on the top and that matte darker finish at the front as well, which just frames it nicely into that grey club face. So just before I carry on with the video, I want to thank today's sponsors, Eagle Links Golf, who make high quality head covers and golfing accessories like scorecard holders, towels, ball markers, etc. All themed around football teams. So if you follow a big team, you can go and grab a head cover from them. I've got a discount code MNGolfCoach. Punch that in at checkout and that will give you 15% discount off anything on their website. Okay, not a bad strike, touch heel, pretty straight though, nice and accurate. It's a bit of a cold day up here in Penrith, so this clubhead speed might not be as quick as normal, so 109.5 mile an hour there, but pretty straight. And that's the big talking point with a lot of these brands now is, you know, they're always going to talk about speed and moving quick, and there is an aerodynamic talk around this Elyte driver, but ultimately with this AI times 10 face is all about sort of dispersion, trying to get that, you know, your miss hits better, hotter, keeping that ball in play a lot more often than not. That's a better strike, super ball flight. Good solid sound and feel to that driver. Straight again, better spin there through that better strike, 2.5. We always know that strike will influence that spin on that club face as much as loft and shaft can influence it. Strike is also going to play a huge effect of that spin. Just leaking a touch up that right hand side with that last one of the three of the first batch with the Callaway. Let's move into the TaylorMade. Right, so Qi35. Now, for me, first instincts with this driver from TaylorMade is it looks pretty premium. I love all this carbon on the bottom. We've seen obviously carbon happen in a lot of the brands over the last few seasons. We'll get more and more of it, but it's a very nice sort of lighter grey carbon effect on the sole, loads of it. We then flip it over into the crown and it's even more stunning for me. Beautiful sort of colour, I would say. I love that carbon effect. Hardly any border to this now. We've seen borders previously on a lot of TaylorMade drivers. That's actually gone now. We've got like a little bit of a lining around the back edge there. So if we just compare these two drivers just sort of side by side as initial looks really, which I think are always important for us as golfers. First instinct there, the TaylorMade just looks bigger footprint. Front to the back definitely looks bigger. And I think it's more that lighter colour that makes it look bigger against the darker matte of the Callaway there. So I'm just looking at, I'm not sure that is actually any bigger to be honest, but it does look bigger. So maybe a little bit of that confidence-inspiring look behind the golf ball. Now, it sits pretty square there, which is good. Ooh, just a little bit dragged up the left. First shot, but again, it's good, great sound to that, carbon sound, as we're going to expect. Solid feel to it. So obviously a little bit of a different look with this driver compared to the Callaway. We flip it onto the sole and we see two movable screws with the TaylorMade here. So we've got a 13-gram screw and a 3-gram screw, and they are positioned front and back and obviously can be switched over. Oh, that felt a bit faster. Yeah, it was a little bit faster club head speed there. Again, just in that. So post comments down below. Are you a TaylorMade fan? Are you a Callaway fan? What are your thoughts of the new drivers for 2025? Both of these drivers, you know, they're very different in the looks, aren't they, and what they're producing. You know, is that something that you would sort of look to go out and have a try, maybe get fitted for? Post comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Oh, that's a better shot. Better strike, better flight, bit straighter, good launch, pretty decent spin there, better numbers. Okay, let's move into another 3 with the Callaway. Okay, switch over to another 3 in the TaylorMade. There's a little pattern emerging here between these two drivers, with one of them just edging things. But we're going to hit another 3 with each one, and then we're going to check some numbers out and see which one is just coming out on top in this test. Okay, so back into the Elyte for the last 3 shots. And then the final 3 with the TaylorMade Qi35. Okay, there we go. I think there's going to be a little bit of a pip of a winner here. Just before we look at the numbers, I just want to maybe just run through which one I prefer myself. Now, from the bottom, and I appreciate this is cosmetics only, the TaylorMade is definitely a winner. I'm not overly blown away by this look of the Elyte on the bottom of it. Put it into that playing position, and again, I love the colour of the TaylorMade, that's that grey carbon showing through, but just the way the head sits, behind the golf ball, I prefer the Callaway, definitely. Sometimes with TaylorMade drivers, I don't tend to see a lot of the loft on there. So these are both 9-degree drivers. I think it's just the colourway there. I just don't see as much of the face. So that sometimes feels like I've got to try and manipulate that ball a little bit more. Just my sort of preference there. In terms of feel and off the club face and the solidness of the clubs, they both feel really good, to be honest. I like the feel of both of those drivers. Let's go and check a few numbers and see if there's any differences between those two drivers. So a little bit of a different view of dispersion for you to look at on this one. So the Callaway is the white flight, the orange is the TaylorMade. So pretty similar, I would probably say, on that front. Okay, and then when we sort of look at the all-important numbers, we can see there, now my club head speed is down a little bit today. I've got a few more layers, and as I mentioned before, it's a little bit colder here, so I'm not moving maybe quite as efficiently. I'm normally around that sort of 111-ish area. Normally, so a little bit down today, but it's all things being equal. The shaft length is exactly the same, the grip was exactly the same, so there's no difference on shaft length, and obviously the shafts are exactly the same as well, so it's even on that front. So move the Qi35 a little bit quicker there on average by 1 mile an hour. Ball speed was actually very similar, wasn't there? So obviously it's a little bit subject to strike there. You know, the ball speed wasn't quite as quick off the club face as maybe the Elyte in comparison to the club head speed. Launch, you see, is a little bit low and a little bit higher with the Elyte. So I think with the TaylorMade, I've also caught some a little bit lower, which gave me that slightly lack of ball speed. I would say a little drop of ball speed, so that's probably where the differences come from. Spin's very similar, just a touch more with the TaylorMade, and you can see carry number-wise, probably through that little bit of launch there, a little bit less spin is just giving me that extra 5 yards carry through the air, and about sort of four and a half yards of run out distance. So it's not a huge amount. I think if I got that up to 12, it'll be very, very similar between these two drivers. So there we go, 2 great drivers, I think, for 2025. Appreciate you watching, as always. There's going to be more videos coming your way, so if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so, and hopefully I'll catch you all very soon.